Not every person that you see on this earth is a real human being. And there's a few things that I want to talk about after I play this clip. But I want you to see what they are trying to do to people in Colorado, especially the children. The state of Colorado is trying to make it a requirement for boys and girls to shower, get dressed, and to sleep together at this Christian camp. And the camp actually tried to use a religious exemption, saying that they don't believe in that. And their exemption got denied by the state of Colorado.
You know, Ryan, we just had on a state representative who's defending some female staffers at the state capitol being forced to use the bathroom facilities with guys. He says it's just insane how far left these policies have gotten in Colorado. In your investigation here, have you discovered that to be the case?
Well, certainly Colorado's extreme policies on gender and sexuality are plain wrong, and it's impacting a number of people across the state. Well, Idrahaji, it's a Christian camp, summer camp. They serve about 3,000 plus campers each summer. And while it's a Christ-centered camp, it welcomes children of all faiths and backgrounds to its camps each and every year. But it does require campers to and their parents to abide by the camp's Christian policies. The problem is the state created these new regulations that attempt to force the camp to disregard its own faith and mission and require it to allow kids to use shower, dressing, and sleeping facilities based on their chosen identity. So boys, for example, would be allowed into girls' private spaces and vice versa. The camp absolutely cannot do that. They requested an exemption on multiple occasions from the state, a religious exemption, but that request was denied. So if it doesn't adopt Colorado's extreme policies, it could lose its license. And so that's why ADF got involved and we filed a federal lawsuit.
In Genesis 3, when God cursed the serpent, in verse 13, he told the serpent, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. This verse alone right here lets you know that there is the seed of a woman, and there's a seed of the serpent. The woman's seed is a real human being. The serpent's seed is not a human. I did a teaching a while ago on the seed of the serpent. But when you see just pure wickedness, when you see people who have no compassion, no heart, you know, it's one thing if somebody's going through something like a depression or mental illness. But when you see people who are just cold, they want to do things like this or kill children, and they have no remorse behind it. That is not a real human being. That is the seed of the serpent. Anyone who does that type of evil is of the seed of the serpent, the devil. And Jesus knew this. He knew that the seed of the serpent was real. That's why he said to the Pharisees in John 8:44, ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Anybody who desires to do evil, most of the time, they are of the seed of the serpent, especially in high places when it comes to decision making and putting certain laws into place. And this is why we need people to stand up. Make change in your community. Be a part of committees. You can look into how to become a board member for the school districts in your area. Be a part of anything that has to do with decision making, because it takes somebody to stand up and speak up in order to make change. And what you say matters. They don't try to fight any other belief system. But when it comes to Jesus and standing for anything that Jesus stood for, it's always an attack. That should tell you right there alone that Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the life. Continue to keep the youth in prayer. God bless and shalom.